Look into my eyes, into the soul of a lover, the soul of a soldier, ready to battle for love, ready to battle for love. Negativity doesn't help at all, said let it go, it's your call, let it go, it's your call, said let it go. While you're trekking through suspense, just trying to pay the rent, spend time with your loved ones, with your loved one, time spent. Spread love to the masses, pursuing those passionate passions. Got to make it happen, gonna make it happen. Be captain, yep. All crunch berries, proud Marys rise up 6 feet tall. Live, love, and laugh. This is your impact. Positive you attract. When positive you react. No time for self-pity. I know times get tricky, but life's all about overcoming, so stop running. Wild hearts can be free, but only in the wild. Wild hearts can be free, but only in the wild. Wild hearts can be free, but only in the wild. Only in the wild. Wild hearts can be free, but only in the wild. Wild hearts can be free, but only in the wild. Wild hearts can be free, but only in the wild. Only in the wild. It's crazy what you do when your wild heart shines through. It's amazing. Right there, and definitely, to me, music is spiritual. I feel like my journey with music, at least in the form of performing and being, a professional working music artist, and that all stems from like my spiritual growth. And without that connection, I wouldn't even be here, because I pursued a very traditional path and went to college. I graduated. I worked in corporate America. I worked, I did everything I was supposed to do, and I still unfolded into being a musician. Somehow it was just making music was something I could never stop doing. And not that I want to now, but there was a time when it was hard to accept that. And so music really helped me become more connected to who I am spiritually, and to even become more awakened. And I understand that it's my path, and it's a part of the message that I'm supposed to share with the world. And so I accept it. Definitely music and spirituality to me go hand in hand.
Great.
But as far as my own personal connection, I feel like I'm always connected. And there are times when I feel, like maybe I'm wavering, or life makes me feel like there's less of a connection. But then, I get signs. That I feel also that I have angels or ancestors or just energy around me that is always reminding me and sending me signs and synchronicities, if you will, that show me that I'm protected, and that I just need to remember that who I am and where I come from and what's important to keep going with. So I would say probably one of the most poignant times that I felt the presence of God so strong, and especially in relating to my music and how I got here, even to pursuing it, was kind of a seed that was planted when my grandmother passed away. And that was, it's been over 10 years now. I was in school at the time, and I had just talked to her like a day or two before, and I told her that I wrote this song, which is actually the first song I've ever performed in front of anyone. And it was called Can't Hold Me Down. And this song, I don't know, something came to me, it came to me. I wrote it in a night, and I was actually hosting this show back on campus, and I decided that I was also going to perform in the show. I was like, I wrote the song, and then I performed it for my peers, and they had no idea. I'd never told anybody that I wrote songs or sang or anything. And it was so well received, and everyone was just so shocked. And my friends were like, "Tindal, like that was beautiful. That was really good." And I'm like, "Thanks. I have no idea where it came from, but it came to me last night, and for some reason today, literally the night before that day, I performed it." And so I was telling my grandmother about the song, and I was like, "Yeah, I wrote the song, and I shared it, and everyone loves it, and they keep asking me to perform, and I'm like, I want to perform it for you." And she's like, "Oh, I can't wait to hear it." Like, and literally 2 days later, she passed away. And so I was like, wow, I was just talking to her about how, I was just talking to her, and she just was a woman who, her energy was just so, she was just such a strong woman, and like her energy was just so powerful that you just thought she was going to live for like 100 more years, So it was just like, I'm like, man, I can't believe she's gone. I thought she's going to outlive all of us. And so, but during her service, I was like, I'm going to perform the song. I never really had the courage to do anything like that. Even that night that I performed the song the first time, I feel like I just had a very strong calling to do that and to get it out and to share it. And I'd never done anything like that. And then I performed it, and it was in front of my family, and that was the first time they ever saw me do that. I've never sang, like, no one knew that I could sing. I didn't know that I could sing, and but I could, and it was good. And I think I always remember that, because that was really like the turning point of creating Tindal Muzic, at least in my consciousness, like that I can really feel connected to, is that was really like a birth, like, and it still took time. Like I was making music, but it wasn't something that I ever shared with anybody. From that point, I had been just making music, and then it wasn't actually until I moved to Phoenix that I really actually put it out there. That was another thing. It was like, I never planned to live in Phoenix either. I had been with someone at the time, and that relationship, wasn't for us, and we went our separate ways. And then that's another like big moment. I stayed, and I really found myself and kept working on getting out there. And I just, one opportunity that the first time, it was like our first Friday, and I was given the opportunity to perform. I was new to Phoenix, and it was kind of wild to me. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I invited some coworkers and some friends, and yeah, it was another one of those moments where it was that synchronicity. It's like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is where
everything kind of came into alignment.
Yeah.
Just following those major life-changing events, everything
Absolutely.
Just started. And that's one thing. And just a note for the listeners is that
Absolutely.
if you're curious about First Fridays is an amazing art event that is held in Phoenix, and it's a way for artists from all kinds of backgrounds to kind of come out and showcase their work. So whether if you're a musician or a painter, or any type of other artist. But Tindal, I wanted to go back into...
Yeah.
So just, obviously you mentioned something else that's very touching and extremely profound in terms of, of course, your grandmother's passing.
Yes.
And I wanted to address the idea, especially in terms of how we're created and our DNA, and how strong our DNA is, and how, I spoke about on my social media platform about sacred geometry, and how everything is basically made up of God's blueprint, and everything. And essentially, with that said, our DNA has coding in it, and that we are triggered by certain life experiences that are about to happen, that we may not know physically, but our body spiritually knows.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, in terms of your circumstance, how you just kind of knew, but you didn't know, and that you were inspired you were inspired to perform this song that you had shared with your grandmother. And then, of course, tragically, she passed away 2 days after. But that just shows how powerful and connected we are, and how much how much of the unseen that we don't know that happens in the spiritual world, that where we can be triggered.
Yeah.
So I think that's very powerful that you shared that. And
Thank you.
I've definitely, I lost my father 4 years ago. He wasn't really present in mine and my brother's lives, and obviously to help my mom too much, but I still felt something when I found the news that he was passing. I felt something within me instinctively that I knew I had to be there by his side, because he didn't have anyone that was going to be by his side when he was passing away.
Yeah.
So I felt instinctively that I had to be there. And as soon as, I went out there first, and then eventually my brother and mom, they came out with me as well another day, and we were all there, and it was a moment where we all connected spiritually. It was definitely it was definitely out of this world. It was definitely something that was supernatural that happened in that moment. And there definitely was a shift in energy that is unexplainable.
Yeah. Wow. Sorry to hear that,
but no, and
thank you for sharing.
Totally, and thank you for sharing your testimony about your grandma. It's always tough when we lose loved ones, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Especially with grandma, who's matriarch, and so I'm sure she's proud of what you're doing, and you're continuing on the legacy of moving forward, right?
Yes, definitely. Absolutely.
So, Tindal, do you have any other testimonies that you wanted to share? Any other moments by chance? Or?
Oh, wow. I mean, I feel like there's so many, so it's really hard to kind of like just pick a couple. Those are probably the most poignant that really helps me understand, especially in hindsight, but also in those moments I felt just a very strong, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a very strong pull and just energy, just to be more than what I was and what I believed that I was, who I was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And there's still so much more. I just have so much energy that it's I hope to get everything done that I would like to, in this lifetime. But I don't know. I guess I would say really just it happens to me all the time. Even just coming here, I get these little these signs and these markers throughout my day that just remind me that everything's okay and what I'm doing is right. And I might just be seeing certain numbers, certain times. When I'm leaving the house, there's a certain time. When I'm parking in the parking lot, there's a certain time. And I see those times throughout my day and these numbers, and or I might see a feather, or it's just different things. So I just it's so hard because it's for me it's everywhere. It's everything. And I just appreciate you for even letting me speak on it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on to Awakening Eve. We look forward to hopefully having you back soon in the near future to talk about other things, because spirituality is so large and there's so much to it. And we're at a very important time where it's important that we have these dialogues, right? That we're open and honest about what's out there, more than, on a deeper level than what we can see, right? And so I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, actually, I did just think of something.
Yes,
sorry.
please. No.
I'm like, oh my God, there's something. It's like calling at me now. It's like there is something else that is pretty major. That I guess I just kind of. It's not that I underplay it. It's just that I'm still finding the courage to let it go to the public. But I have been working on something really before quarantine, but really starting to develop it since March. So I'm developing a business model. It's going to be online. I'm having a store.
Fantastic.
And it's
Nice.
It's all mindful, kind things and sayings, and just things that I have been synchronized with that were helpful to me, and reminders that I want to share with the public. That will hopefully help them stay mindful of their journeys. And so that's coming, and that's another thing that's really the most present thing that I've been working on outside of music recently, is that and
that you felt called to do
a
higher level, a higher assignment.
Yes.
To get out there. I
Absolutely.
love it, Tindal. And once you get that set up, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to help spread the word.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I just got the chills right now. Seriously.
Really?
And that's another great
thanks.
sign. This was an amazing session, and
Thank you.
again, we look forward to hopefully having you back in the future. And best of luck to you. We hope that God continues to see you through your endeavors, and much shalom.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Look into my eyes, into the soul of a lover, the soul of a soldier, ready to battle for love, ready to battle for love. Negativity doesn't help at all, so let it go, it's your call. Let it go, it's your call, so let it go. While you're trekking through suspense, just trying to pay the rent. Spend time with your loved ones, with your loved one, time spent. Spread love to the masses, pursuing those passions. Got to make it happen, gonna make it happen. Be captain, yep. All crunch berries, proud Marys rise up 6 feet tall. Live, love, and laugh. This is your impact. Positive you attract when positive you react. No time for self-pity. I know times get tricky, but life's all about overcoming, so stop running. Wild hearts can be free, but only in the wild. Wild hearts can be free, but only in the wild. Wild hearts can be free, but only in the wild. Only in the wild. Wild hearts can be free, but only in the wild. Wild hearts can be free, but only in the wild. Wild hearts can be free, but only in the wild. Only in